road to Paris goes through Salt Lake City this week, where a world medalist is aiming for more hardware. And another contender looks to stake her claim as one to watch during this Olympic quad. NBC Sports presents the 2022 U.S. Classic. Hello everyone, I'm John Roethlisberger here at the Maverick Center in Salt Lake City for the senior round of this U.S. Classic, and I'm honored to say I'm joined for the first time as an analyst, Lori Hernandez, Olympic champion. Lori, great to be here with you.
Same here.
Let's talk about tonight's session, the senior session. What can we expect in this competition?
Yeah, so for classics in comparison to national championships, we could look at it as the quiz before the test. We're going to see a lot of new skills being thrown here that you might not see at championships, so you're definitely going to want to keep your eyes peeled.
And speaking of new skills, it was a year ago, 2021, that Olympic champion Simone Biles competed this element right here.
Yurchenko double pike, just with a few hops backwards, meaning she still has more power even after all of that.
And we talked that I could probably put you on my shoulders and she would go right over the top of us. Probably the most difficult single element in gymnastics, in women's gymnastics. I will note that Simone Biles not competing here tonight. She is still in the retired mode. We'll talk about that later. But we do have some great athletes to watch. In your opinion, who are two that you're looking for?
Our first person we're looking at is Leanne Wong. She won silver in the all-around in 2021's World Championships, and she would like to go again this year and get that all-around gold. Told me once she wants to sweep more medals too, and I think she can definitely do that. Our next athlete being Shilese Jones, good friend of mine. I truly believe she's an easy contender for Worlds this year. And same thing, told me herself, she wants that all-around title, and I think she's got it in her. She is a powerhouse, so look out for her tonight.
And she has come in focused and looks ready to go, and we talked about how great we think she could do at the World Championships. You will see that. And here is the list of competitors. The first starting group will be on vault, the other group on the uneven bars. And again, we talked about how this is a rehearsal for some of them trying some new skills. There's a couple in there, and we'll talk throughout the competition that might need to get a score to be at those U.S. championships. But it's going to be a fun competition. We're going to see a lot of great gymnastics.
Most athletes are also qualified to nationals already. There's a very, I'd say about the majority is already qualified. So the routines that we're going to see today, a lot of them are brushing up on new skills.
And how valuable is that as you head into a U.S. Championships that has everything at stake to make a world team, to catapult you into the next 2 seasons going into the Olympics? How important is it to be able to come on the podium on a big stage and do some of those new big routines?
You know, in women's artistic gymnastics, especially elite gymnastics, we don't get very many competitions to begin with throughout the year. So the fact that we have an opportunity like Classics to debut new skills, I think this is a great opportunity for all the athletes here, not just the ones that I mentioned earlier.
So scoring in gymnastics, it's a complicated element, but we're going to try to break it down for you. Part of the score comes from difficulty. In women's gymnastics, they have the value of the 8 most difficult skills. Each skill has a value. They add the value of those 8 skills together. That is their difficulty score. They take that and they add it to the execution score, which starts at a perfect 10. Out of that perfect 10 come the deductions, the form breaks, the steps on the landing. Whatever is left from that 10, plus their D score, their difficulty score, is put together for the gymnast's final score. Take a deep breath and soak that one in, because it is complicated, but we'll try to keep you abreast during today's competition. Here's Nola Matthews starting out on vault.
Simple Yurchenko full, few hops, and she had a bit of a leg separation in the air, so I do believe they're going to take a few tenths for that. But overall, strong start. And in testament to what you mentioned earlier with those, our scores, you're going to see a lot of different start values out there. So keep an eye out on that fluctuation. The
vault start values have been lowered from last year. That's typical after an Olympic year to readjust the code of points, make it a little bit more difficult for the athletes. This vault right here, the Yurchenko laid out full, starts at a 14.2. If she did it perfect, that is the score she would get. As we know, the judges will never give you that perfect execution score. Leanne Wong starting her competition on the vault. What to look for on this event, Lori?
So we see it here on the screen, but to elaborate a bit more, we have height. So that block that you see when they pop off the table, we want to see them go as high as they possibly can. Altitude, distance, body position. If the athlete pikes her hips, especially doing a laid out vault, she's going to get a huge deduction for that. And of course, the landing, staying in bounds and hopefully sticking. Beautiful Yurchenko double full for Leanne Wong.
Big air. You mentioned the big air, and she has got some big air on that vault. Wow.
What a way to start the competition.
That one starts at a 15.0. Another look.
Some barely minute leg separation, but I would be very proud of that vault if I was her.
Yeah, a little bit of crossed feet, that small hop. If you are on that line, that outer line, you are still in. You have to go over the line to get a deduction. 1 foot over is a 1/10, 2 feet over is 3/10. She was good to go there. Her score for that first vault out of a 15, she gets a 14.4. One thing that Leanne has upgraded is she is now working 2 vaults, something that Team USA needs in their lineup.
2 vaults is quite uncommon. We'll see a small handful of athletes be able to do that at Classics this year.
Gives the athlete an opportunity to be in event finals is where it's valuable. Beautiful new vault.
She's smiling after that. I think she's quite proud of those, and I would be too.
That is the Cheng style vault. So she does Yurchenko half onto the table. Oh, wow.
Oh, I didn't notice her hand there.
That was right on the edge of that vault table. Leanne Wong handles it, does land outside the line, but great job for Leanne. One of the other favorites today, Shilese Jones, coming up. 16-year-old Jocelyn Robertson from Northeast Texas Elite Gymnastics. The next gymnast to go here on the vault.
Another powerhouse we should definitely keep our eyes on. I was watching her in warm-ups, and I was consistently surprised by how strong she is. Wow. That was from both of us.
The distance on that vault, outstanding. Vault and event, Team USA has always been so strong on, but ironically coming into this last 2 years before the Olympics, an event that, you know, they need a little more power in.
It was a tiny bit low from the table, but the distance that she has from there, definitely. She spots the landing. She took, I'd say, about a 3 to 4/10 deduction on that landing.
Common deductions, Lori, that the judges are looking at this event.
So we have, it says here small landing, step or hop. We compare that to shoulder width. So large would be wider than the shoulder of a step. We have bent arms on the table. The reason for that, it also messes with the height. So if you see a gymnast go and vault and she's got those tight arms, chances are she's gonna go very high. Also out of bounds, as John mentioned earlier, as long as you are within those 3 lines, you're good to go. As soon as you step outside of them, that's where they get you.
She, like Leanne Wong, is doing 2 vaults, got a 14.0 on a 15.2 start value for vault number 1.
That's a great execution score. 8.8.
Anytime you can get close to a 9 or above on vault, that is outstanding. Same vault we saw from Leanne Wong on her opening vault, the Yurchenko double twist. Little trouble in the landing.
A bit of a stumble out, yeah. But again, she's got a lot of power in her, and I'm really excited to see what she does for Flora.
During this week of training prior to this competition, Shilese Jones looked like she was in a zone. And by watching her at this weekend's competition, you wouldn't know how tough of a year that she has had. Last December, she lost her father, who she was extremely close to. There he is right there. After the trials last year, she was going to move on to college, was going to put the elite career behind her, but her dad convinced her to keep training and keep that Olympic dream alive. And she said he is with her every day. And this is a tattoo on the back of her right shoulder. Your name echoes in my heartbeat. And she said, Lori, that he is part of her journey and she is here because of him. And it's really an amazing story.
Yeah, when we last spoke with her, she said every motivation, every good push that she has in the gym comes from her dad. He's with her everywhere she goes. She talks to him every night. He's the reason why she keeps going for Paris. And everything outside of that. Monster Yurchenko double full. Bit of a stumble on the landing.
Yeah, a few too many steps coming out of that, but beautiful in the air. We'll get one more look at that.
Thanks.
A half twist, a 2.5 twist for her on that seems almost academic. It's right there, right?
It definitely seems tangible. How tight she is coming into the horse right there. It's like dropping a pencil on hard ground, eraser head first. It's gonna bounce because of how tight it is.
And the form in the air, that's so important. The judges see that. Maybe a 10th split in the legs coming onto the table if you really want to be picky, but not too many people in the world capable of doing a Yurchenko double full quite like that. I love the confidence that she has, and it's not an arrogance when you talk to her. It's just a belief, and you can't help but get on board with her and her journey and cheering her on. You got to think great things are in her future.
She radiates motivation, confidence, excitement for what's to come, especially about Worlds this year. And her eyes forward towards Paris. I mean, we watched her practice yesterday, and both of us, our eyes were pretty wide. She is fantastic.
The head coach of the Florida Gators, Jenny Rowland, has got to be happy that she is going to have Shilese Jones on that team, but you're going to have to wait, Jenny. You're going to have to wait till after 2024 because there's some unfinished business for this athlete. Very, very excited to watch her over the next couple of years.
Shai mentioned Gabby Douglas and Jordan Weber were and are her inspirations in and out of the gym. So that's always exciting. You see athletes come up and they mention their inspirations and then they become one themselves.
Shilese Jones gets the same score that Leanne Wong got for that vault, a 14.4. Both of those athletes are scheduled to do the all-around here today, so nice little battle we have going between those two. Earlier in this competition, Addison Fava started out on the uneven bars, 17 years old, out of Wrightsville, PA, and here is her performance there.
Kicking things off with Heitdiger. She caught a little too close to the bar. Toe full over. On these handstands, you want toes to the ceiling. If it's over, they're going to get deducted for that.
A lot of gymnastics in this routine.
Beautiful double layout dismount.
That is her dad, Tony, her coach. 13.15 the total there, 7.65 execution. We mentioned around a 9.0 on vault being a great execution score on bars. You can shift that down about a point, right?
Yes, absolutely.
If you get an 8, you're doing something special.
Bit of a leg separation.
And this is Levi Young-Levivar from Twin City Twisters up in Minnesota.
Her toe point reminds me a lot of Nastia Lukens. Her form is gorgeous.
Good reach.
Oh, looks like she missed that. Her feet on the bar on that first toe full. Here comes her dismount. I saw a couple form breaks in there. I wouldn't be surprised if the judges really hammered in on that. We'll check out her execution score and see how much they were able to find.
Levi recently moved from Los Angeles to train at Twin City Twisters up in Minnesota. Quite the climate change for her to go from LA to the frozen tundra.
Overall, that's a hit routine, and that is definitely something to be proud of.
Levi will move on to the balance beam for her next rotation, and that will be rotation 2 when we come back. Standings after the first rotation. Laura, you teased both of these athletes. Leanne Wong, Shilese Jones after vault, deadlocked at 14.4. And after outstanding vault of her own, Jocelyn Robertson, a 14.0. So the Olympic team selection process now a little bit different than it was when we look back in Tokyo. Actually, 5 members of the team now, as opposed to 4 that we saw in Tokyo. Paris, you will have 5. 3 apparatus in the team finals go up on each event. All 3 of those scores will count towards the team total. That will be high pressure. Speaking of the Tokyo team, where are they and what are they doing today? Well, Simone Biles, she just continues to get medals. And this one, dare I say, maybe the biggest one of them all, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She was awarded that by President Biden earlier this year. What an honor for her. How about the new Olympic champion, Suni Lee? She might not be done. She said she's not going to compete this year, but she says 2023, as of right now, she wants to make a comeback. She's busy in the gym. She's got the new beam mount. Always exciting, always coming up with new stuff. We'll keep an eye out for her. She competed in college at Auburn this year. She won an NCAA title there on the balance beam and finished second all around. What a year she had for the Auburn Tigers. The best season in Auburn Tiger history, and a lot of it is because of that athlete right there. Jordan Childs, she is at UCLA, also had an outstanding year as an individual collegiately. She wants to come back, and she's training Jake Carey, same boat. She wants to return. Had an unbelievable year at Oregon State, and she seems to have picked up right where she left off. Grace McCallum, University of Utah, she competed just right down the road from where we are right now. She has no plans as of yet that we know of to make a return. And Michaela Skinner also has announced her retirement earlier this year. She seems to be done, but she's also a Utah Ute. Lori, the one that everyone's talking about, the Simone Biles, could she come back? Do you think she will?
Honestly, I have no idea, but if she wants to come back, even if mid next year she said, you know what, I think I'm going to do it, she absolutely could. There is nothing stopping her.
I'm going to be a little more bold. I'm going to say she absolutely is going to come back. And the biggest reason is because she can.
Yeah.
And she's got the ability, and we see a lot of athletes, and you try to come back, you know how hard it is.
Yes.
But she's something special, and I just think it'll be too much to resist. Go to Paris. I think we're going to see her there. This competition, as we mentioned, is leading to the USA Gymnastics Championships. Don't miss it. August 20th and 21st on the NBC family of networks. That will be the road to the World Championships coming up this fall.